Everything just dropped out.
Yeah, no, I just did that.
And we had.
Everything just dropped out.
Yeah, no, I just. And I can't tell on mine.
And we had.
Yeah, no. Should be able to hear now.
Okay.
And I can't tell on mine.
I can't hear.
Yeah, I can't tell if we're live or not. Should be able to hear now.
Okay.
Well, it says on here live.
I can't tell if we're live or not.
Oh, did it say
It
that?
says on here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right here. At the top says live. Top says live.
Okay, cool. So we are. Okay, cool. So we are
live.
officially live. Officially live.
Where's
Apparently.
Jay? Where's Jay?
What up, Jay? How's it going?
Boys. Howdy, boys.
Glad to have you back. Glad to have you back. Seems to be every time we have you in the studio, some craziness happens. So.
It's all right. It's all right though. I mean, it's not the first time. It's 199 times. So, you know.
That's par for the course.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so I got the video capture thing to work as well. So we have backup.
Okay. So Anthony just said that. Wow, I can really. Can I see that? Getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah, because I'm hearing an echo coming from your side. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I tried turning it on my phone. I can't do it. Yeah. So. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Anybody else hearing feedback? Anybody else that's in here? Anybody else hearing feedback?
What's weird is so I have all these gates and stuff on the rolling, so like I don't hear it on the rolling, but I bet you the live feed, because we have all the microphones and stuff on, it's probably picking up echo like crazy, and I don't know.
All right. Well, whoever's with us, welcome. Yeah. Mary just echo. And I know it's my phone because I'm trying to get this to. I'm trying to get the volume to go down.
Okay, so we got echo cancellation. That should help. Gosh. All right, so let me know if that. Try turning yours like we have the same phone and mine's not. I can hear yours all the way over here.
Yeah, me too.
And like I have my phone all the way down and it's I can't hear it.
That's what I was doing.
Do you have your computer open or something else?
Yeah,
running?
I do. I have the computer open too, but it's all on mute.
You said that every time, and then what's your computer running?
Nothing.
It's not connected to the internet, right?
No, I'll just close it.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know why, but I can hear it bad over your end. How about that?
You can still hear it. It has a little bit of my volume, but
There's no control just to turn the speaker off. Completely.
no.
Yeah, can you go to? There's no audio settings. That's the problem with our phones. It's very limited. Yeah. There's no. That's what. Like on there, there's settings. On here, there's no settings. Oh wait, hold on. Aha.
Did you find it?
All right. So see how the bottom's cut off here?
Yeah.
If you click on this right half, 10% of a circle. Click on that. All right. So see how the bottom's cut off here? Audio.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
If you click on this right half, 10% of a circle. Click on that. Today's tip of how to run podcasts unsuccessfully.
Okay, what about now?
And then audio.
Okay, hold on. Let me go into settings. Yeah, you can still hear it.
Okay.
I tried the echo cancellation and
Today's
audio. Stereo audio.
Unsuccessful.
Okay, what about now?
So that thing have
Yeah, you can still hear
turn your phone off on it.
stereo audio.
On the thing, you turn the microphone off on it?
Wait.
No, I can't turn the microphone. Wait.
One man, one mic. The fight begins.
It's like, it said like the Queen song's on mission.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, what about now?
I don't hear it.
I don't hear it.
Hello?
Well, yeah, I kind of hear
A
it.
little bit.
No, it's not coming from me. Hello?
Hello.
We're just disconnecting. Stuff is disconnecting.
Mother. Do you want to just do it off of the board here? Because, like, test. Wait a minute.
Yeah, because it's switching back and forth between you and call. Jay. Sorry, Jay.
All right. Well, the video capture is working. We don't have the live audience, obviously. So they can just deal with the freaking the echo chamber. But we'll have the better version uploaded after the podcast. So anyway, without much further ado, welcome everybody to the FU podcast, where shit always happens and you never know when and just how much.
In 199 times.
For the 199th time.
Yep.
That means the next episode is 200. Just in case y'all don't know how math works.
Well, hopefully, that everything will go.
Definitely.
Well,
we have a wonderful guest today. His name is Jay Laster. He's been here before. And when he was here last time, we had issues as well. And unfortunately, his show was cut a little bit short.
Yeah, because of that.
Anthony says, wow, what a way to treat your guests, make us deal with the echo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
So Jay, you said you had a couple questions already that you had selected. Do you know what those were, or do I need to?
No, yeah, let me pull it up because Patrick sent it to me earlier.
Okay.
And one of them
Mm-hmm.
is let me find it here. How do you feel about the use of military force as a means of achieving political goals?
Yeah, let's start. Let's start with the heavy hitter. Go ahead.
Let's start with that.
Let's go hard to paint.
All right. There's a Prussian general named Karl Clausewitz, who was born in 1780, died in 1831. He wrote a book called War. And he was basically kind of a Sun Tzu's Machiavelli of his time. And his famous quote was, war is nothing more than politics by other means. Because once you reach an impasse, when you start shooting people, then it's everyone else's attention.
Right. Okay.
So that's where that comes from. You ask me, you hear people hear the quote, they don't know where it comes from. That's
Of
where it
course. Yeah.
So,
I don't think you think that's where it comes from.
So last time I was here, we started discussing the Middle East.
Yeah.
And of course, things have
Escalated since then.
deteriorated, honestly. And what's going on now?
especially
Basically, in Yemen, you have
the Houthi rebels,
which are
which
backed by
the
the
Iranians.
Country
Yemen
Yemen
is about 75% of the size of the state of Texas.
With
Population about 5 million more than we have, about 34, 35 million people.
Wow.
But it is,
without a doubt, a third world shithole. They rely, about 75% of the population relies on the UN for food.
That's crazy.
And it's, those people have nothing.
They
They
are
are
nothing.
nothing.
There's simply never going to be anything.
Right.
There's no industry. It's a desert.
You got Saudi Arabia to the north. You got Oman to the east of them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have oil there.
Mm-hmm.
The
The Omanis
Omanis
have
have oil.
oil. They don't.
Right.
So here they
at one point up until right after World War II,
that was actually a British
and
protectorate.
what ended up happening
And
was
what ended up happening was
at some point,
and
I
I can't remember all the history about it.
They ended up getting
They ended up getting
most colonies
most colonies in that
over in that area. They can't go themselves. There's no way.
Right.
I mean,
the only
part of what
is modern day Yemen was also half of it, I guess, was a province of the Ottoman Empire. Of course, when that fell at the end of World War I, you had Saudi Arabia was created,
and a lot of those other states.
Like Iraq. Iraq was three provinces of the Ottoman Empire, and so what the Brits do, they cobble those three provinces together, create the country of Iraq, and put the minorities in charge. Okay, because the vast majority of people in Iraq are Shiite, so the Iranians.
And Saudi Arabians,
and Saudi Arabians, and over there, they're Sunni.
And the reason they hate each other,
Right.
And the reason they hate each other is back when Muhammad died in 6 whatever it was.
One faction was like, okay, whoever leads Islam has to be a direct blood descendant of Muhammad. And the other guys were like, no, not really. So here we are almost 1400 years later, and that's not resolved. And it ain't gonna be resolved. And then if you go up to like Turkey, they have Sufi Muslims up there, which it's a total. You have to sit down and read about the three of them. Sufis aren't as militant about it. They're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna watch Muhammad, you guys just go kill yourself or whatever. And one of my buddies that served with in Iraq, he goes, when you can't walk over to your neighbor, hey, can I borrow your lawnmower? Hey, can I borrow your lawnmower without them wanting to cut your head off? Then you never solve that problem.
Right.
The only way this is going to be solved
is
if one side
completely annihilates the other.
And that has been repeated through history. Different religious groups forever.
Yeah.
I'm just like that whole side of the world to me just seems so archaic, and they're so in the Stone Age, and it's like I feel like we're like almost 1,000 years ahead of them, even though we're like.
Well, look at the Iran-Iraq War. Started as soon as Saddam took over in 1978, I think it was.
Wasn't that the Islam Revolution?
Well, yeah. What happened was back in the 50s, the CIA basically there was the Iranians elected the dude they wanted.
Right.
So
that didn't sit well with the Western powers.
This guy got overthrown and put the Shah Reza Pahlavi
and all dictatorships eventually, you got to have your secret police, and people were under that yoke for about 20 years. I think about 20 years. I can't. I'm fuzzy on the dates right now. So basically the Shah had ousted Ayatollah Khomeini, kicked him out of the country. He was living in Paris, and basically he had his acolytes, and they actually took over the entire country, the Shah, and that's when the American embassy was taken in 1979, and they spent 440 days in captivity, and Ronald Reagan raised his right hand. They put their butts on a plane and sent them to Frankfurt, Germany.
I was in 9th grade.
I was not even born yet.
Yeah, you were 3.
No, it's 79, bro.
80.
I was born in 80.
It was 80?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was in 7.
Actually,
Okay, so
let me correct.
Unless it was December, then I was born.
Reagan won in 80. He took the oath in January 81. And that's when they put him on.
It was like, as soon they had a split screen. I remember this, and I was in Texas history. Dude, I so remember this. I was in Texas history, and I remember having a TV in there and having a split screen of the hostages on a plane, and Reagan put his hand up, and as soon as Reagan put his hand up, that airplane took off.
See,
It was right before he was sworn in.
yeah.
It was right before he was sworn in. But didn't mean to interrupt.
It's
you had the whole Desert One fiasco.
You know?
you had the whole Desert One
under Jimmy
fiasco.
Carter. And that's
Under
where they
Jimmy
sent
Carter.
the
That's where they
C-53s.
sent the
and
C-53s
actually land
and
a C-130
land
soccer
a
stadium.
C-130 in soccer stadium.
We're going to get the hostages
We're going to get the hostages
from on the
That I
C-130.
would like to see.
C-130.
But it happened is they were refueling in the desert.
A couple aircraft flight. Came to kill the gay people.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
see, the thing
But
with
see, the
this
thing with this is
is because
that was such a weak response.
you know,
You talk about the cause and effect.
if you
If you demonstrate weakness,
those
those
people take advantage of it.
Right, no exploit
But
weakness.
didn't Ross Perot have something to do with that too? Also,
Ross,
yeah, he did, but
I can't remember what it was.
right.
Because he did. I think he sent some.
I think it was in northern Iran.
That they actually sent some people in to get Americans out.
Yeah.
And then they and then that
movie Argo with Ben Affleck where the
But see, the thing
made
is,
the
is
Canadians.
Jimmy Carter said, "Look,
But see, the thing of it is,
You got
if Jimmy
48
Carter said,
hours.
"Look, you got 48 hours.
I've got 3 aircraft carriers.
I've got
over
3 aircraft carriers over there.
there. I'm just going to start from.
I'm just going to start from Basra. Actually,
Basra, not
Basra, not Basra. That's
right next door.
Right next
I'm
door.
gonna start there,
Start there,
and I'm going to
and
bomb everything
to the north,
going north,
going northbound
until you
release them.
Kill one of
them.
That's end.
That's end of you.
Yeah.
And see,
They're having a lot. You don't hear this on the news nowadays.
They're
They're having so many problems around because like 80% of the population was born after 1979.
Wow.
And they just executed 3 Kurdish dudes for supposed sabotage and spying.
Right. That seems to be the MO for anybody. Yeah, that's like their, you know, their blanket, you know, that they can use. Look at the Wall Street, Journal. He's in Russia still.
Based on espionage and spying and stuff like
based
that.
on espionage and spying and stuff like that. That's their MO.
True story. When I was in Iraq.
When I was in Iraq.
Here, you put the
When I was in Iraq.
When I was in Iraq.
Oh, much better.
I came out of my hooch. And
Come out of your hooch.
that's what it's called.
That's what it's called.
Wait, hooch?
Is that alcohol?
Everything came out of his
My
hooch.
single wide.
So
Single wide.
They had a bunch of MPs there, and they had some of the locals. They basically paid me fill sandbags and shit.
Right.
And I only carried my rifle with me when we were under certain conditions, or was when I was flying. Other than that, I kept it locked up.
Right.
But I always carried my pistol and a shoulder holster.
Right.
So I could walk around the corner.
So I come walking around the
There's
corner.
like a
There's like a half a dozen of these guys. You got 2 MPs with rifles.
all of them froze.
All of them froze.
And I stopped.
And I stop and I'm like,
Hey, Sarge,
hey, Sarge,
what the fuck is
the
that?
fuck is that all about?
He goes,
He
well,
goes,
sir.
well, sir.
He goes,
He goes, Saddam Hussein, secret police, the Luke brought.
They
They
carry
carry
rifles.
rifles, carry pistols.
They
They know
you're
you're
an
an officer.
He goes,
He goes, they're not phased about these influence. Because
Saddam Hussein
police walk up,
pop you
pop you right there, done.
He goes, that scares the shit out of me.
Oh,
that's
that's
good.
good.
Well,
That's
good
good
stuff
stuff
to
to
know.
know.
So they're not scared by the long rifle. They're scared by the pistol.
Yeah.
Whereas
Our society is the flip flop.
Yeah,
We're like,
ban the long rifle. It's scary.
But
Just goes to show.
But yeah, it's just that was just I'll never forget that. And it would that would have been about February, March of 7. The weather was kind of nice.
Right.
Right.
That time of year.
So
Yeah,
that whole area is just such a fucking mess, and I feel like they just need to get just
a
a clean slate.
Like,
Hey, let's stop living in like this old times where nobody has freedom to do anything. Like I feel like if you look at history and look at even like us, the United States, and look at Civil War and everything else, it was because certain freedoms were taken away. Like we had slaves and stuff like that, right? So once we got rid of that and made everybody free and equal, for the most part, I know we're still working on that in progress.
In writing.
Yeah, in writing. I know we're still trying to work on that. We haven't accomplished it fully, but we've accomplished it more so than the Middle East.
That's my point. And then I've noticed throughout history is
is like the progression
give certain
that
freedoms
as
and
you
stuff like
give
that,
certain freedoms and stuff like that,
that animosity.
that hatred
Now
and that
there are
animosity.
people that come
Now there are
across
people
in
that
the
come
political
across in the
spectrum
political
that
spectrum that create
and
divisiveness
create polarization.
and create polarization. But
Well, a good book to read
good book
that
to
has
read
that
that has that
whole
genre
genre
by
by a guy named Jared
Jared
Diamond.
Diamond.
And he's a biologist by training.
Okay.
And it's called Guns, Germs, and Steel.
Okay.
And it's interesting. And it covers a lot of those topics. He writes very well. It's very easy to read and comprehend.
we try to say
For
for the listening audience out there.
I just don't want anybody turned off going, am I reading somebody's goddamn doctoral thesis?
Right.
No, you're not.
Every once in a while, I like to read something that's like
fucking
quantum physics, mechanics,
fucking
fucking
Well,
buffet.
one of your questions was about teleportation and time travel.
Yes.
Yes. Oh man, I love
All
that.
that
All
stuff,
that
like,
stuff like
fascinates
fascinates
me
me
because
because it's like it makes you think
outside
outside of
like
like
normal,
normal rational
thinking,
and you
and
and you put pieces together and all that sort of stuff. Like I love all that stuff. Fascinates
One
me.
of the I've kind of gotten to I got one of the smart TVs and I have a Spotify account, so I just transferred it over to that. And sometimes when I get home, I really like Love Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And I'll watch when he has Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I'm not a fan of him, by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's kind of a douche too.
Because like I was, and then he started saying, "There's no way in hell, like there's aliens. There's no way in hell there's UFOs," and I'm like going, "Really,
dude?
I'm like, you lost all. I lost all credibility. Like I can't listen to you anymore
because you're supposed to be a scientist.
You're supposed to be a scientist, and you're clearly not using science."
You know, I have the original Cosmos.
I have the
on
original
DVD,
Cosmos.
but they digitally redid it. And then Carl Sagan's wife, Andrew, her and another producer that was on the original
Cosmos
did the second
and third series.
And I've watched it.
It was actually on Tubi
for
free, but I do have the first Cosmos on DVD. And speaking of scientists, you know Machu
Picchu, yeah. Michikaku. Yes.
You want to hear
Machu Picchu is a location. Yes.
That's in fucking Peru. You want to hear a fun fact about him?
What's that?
He was an infantry soldier in the Army during Vietnam.
Was he really?
He was. Wow. He was 11 bullets sponge.
Damn, that's fascinating to see him.
I've read a bunch of Neil deGrasse Tyson's book. He's a theoretical physicist.
He's a theoretical physicist.
Right.
I really like some of his
and I really like some of his stuff. And I haven't dove as much into it as I have with Neil deGrasse. Because fucking he's everywhere.
He's taken. He got that little taste of fame.
Yeah.
And now he can't let it go.
Oh no. And he's got to be on everything in anything.
Because now I just saw this. I was watching on Pluto TV because I love the show for 48. And last year when I broke my ankle, so I sat and watched all 27 seasons because I was off for like 6 weeks. Every single episode. And then now they have what's called After the First 48, which takes the cases. The first 48 ends when they're arrested.
Right.
This is what happens during the trial and all that.
Right.
And that's really
especially the ones that happen here in Dallas.
Speaking of, have you watched
the Crumley thing that just been going on?
Oh yeah, they convicted her.
Yes.
So when this story broke, because I have like press credentials and all that sort of stuff. So when this story broke, I literally started a Facebook page, and it was called Convict the Crumleys. And then that's when they went on the lam, and then they tried to hide from the cops and all this sort of stuff. They started funneling money and all that sort of stuff, trying to basically run. And so I started this Facebook page, and I was like, it was called Convict the Crumleys. And so it's funny because like all of a sudden the trial took place, and now all people are communicating and everything on it, and I'm like saying what I believe is going to happen, and then sure enough, it actually happened.
They're supposed to sentence her in April.
Okay.
And then the dad goes on trial. I think next month.
What do you think about the dad?
You know what? It's
You
like
know what? This
that Adam
It's
Lanza
like that-
kid that shot up San
that
Diego.
Adam Lanza
His
kid that
mother
shot up
bought
San
that
Diego.
damn rifle.
His mother bought that damn rifle.
And I almost want to go back to those cases, and then that other one that's actual local,
the one in
Ethan
South Lake.
Couch,
Oh,
the
yeah.
one in South Lake.
I was like,
Oh, yeah.
that whole family belongs
belongs
Well,
in
it's like
fucking jail.
that Murdoch dude
That Murdoch
down in the Carolinas
Yeah.
killed his wife
Yeah.
and son.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, now they
That
think-
trial-
That trial
Is
is that going on too?
No,
Or is that- or is that-
that was over.
It is.
Didn't it just end like fairly recently? Right?
fairly recently, but it
Yeah.
was in court for another reason,
and
I can't remember why.
I can't either.
And
I-
one son is still alive,
but
they suspect that he may be involved with the kid that got run over.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that case. I kind of bits and pieces
Yeah,
of it.
it's on the. It's either on 48 Hours or Dateline.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's probably online.
Right.
That
whole
family
family shit.
Yeah.
You know,
And to me,
this
like,
could have been solved years and years
This
ago.
could have been
if we
solved
would've done this
years and years ago if we
Like,
would have done this
start
years and years
holding-
ago. Like start
If a
holding.
kid is
I mean,
late to
if
school
a
and
kid
truant and all that
is
sort of
late to
stuff,
school and
fuck
truant and all that
parents
sort of
held
stuff,
liable.
the fucking parents
Why
held
isn't
liable. So
anything
why
else
isn't
they do
anything else that they
Well,
do
you know,
held?
responsible?
Uvalde.
You know,
Let's talk about that for a second.
Oh my God, that
Oh my
All
God,
right,
that
this-
one.
How-
That will get me going.
That won't get me going.
The one question
The one
I have
question I
Yeah.
have
that
Yeah.
none of these dipshit reporters could grasp.
What's that?
What's
Where
that?
the fuck did he get the money for that Daniel Defense rifle? That's like a $3,000 gun.
Is it really? Wow. I
They
had no
are
idea.
not cheap. He had a shit ton of ammunition. Now, separate that from the police fuck up.
Yeah.
And personally, that chief of police should be in jail.
Honestly, yeah. Like with to have that many people that were involved and nothing happened, and the fact they were holding back actual parents that wanted to go in there, they're like, "I'll risk my fucking life to go in there and save my fucking kid."
because you jackasses aren't doing
You
shit.
have the equivalent
Asses
of
aren't
two
doing
infantry
shit.
platoons
Mhm.
to take on one person. And you guys, where were your shields? You know, the big shields that stand behind.
You know the big
Yeah.
shield.
Everybody standing
And
around.
they're fucking
Everybody
full.
standing
And
around.
they're
Everybody
fucking
standing-
full.
everybody standing
Yeah.
around with guns.
Ballistic. I'm like,
Yeah.
Ballistic. I'm
But I
like,
wanna
what?
know
But I want to know
where the fuck that kid got that
where the
money
fuck
to
that
buy
kid
that
got
gun.
that money.
that's, I mean,
to buy
follow
that
the
gun.
money.
Follow the money. I mean, that's an
Daniel-
interesting question. That's an
I've
interesting
never even
perspective.
heard
I've never even
the gun
heard
mentioned
the gun
Yeah.
mentioned until
Daniel
you just
Defense
mentioned.
Daniel Defense
Make some
Uh-huh.
really
makes some
high quality
really
shit.
high quality
And
shit.
it's some
And
really
it's some
high quality
high quality
prices
prices
for
for it too.
that gun.
Man,
you know,
Man, I wish Andy was here.
Andy,
Andy,
if
if
you're
you're listening, tell us about the guns because I know you know everything about guns.
that rifle is a minimum of $3,000.
Yeah.
But no one's ever asked that question. You know,
So Mary says just pause 3 seconds before responding after the last person speaks, like a CB radio. It's overlapping some. That might help
if you're on cell phones. I've had that.
Okay.
if you're on.
All right, guys. Just so y'all know, we're actually recording.
All right, guys. Just so y'all
this,
know, we're
on our
actually
laptop
recording
as well
this
as live streaming
on
from
our
cell
laptop
phones,
as
'cause our
well
cell phones
as
suck,
live
obviously.
streaming from our cell phones because our
'cause the
cell
internet
phones
is
suck,
down.
obviously.
So
Because the internet
you'll
is
get
down.
the better quality.
So
after
you'll
the
get the
podcast,
better
so
quality
you're gonna have
after
to,
the podcast.
unfortunately,
So you're gonna have to,
listen to
unfortunately,
some shit right
listen
now.
to some part shit right now.
I hate to tell you.
I hate to tell you.
well, hit me up with another question.
Well, hit me up with another question.
I want to go down that whole Uvalde.
What your
what
thoughts
your
are.
thoughts
Okay,
are.
so,
Okay, so
we
like
obviously
we obviously follow the money and we
okay,
figure out, okay,
how did he
how
afford,
did he afford this gun?
Obviously,
a
high school student or something like that. Like how
Yeah, I think it was what 18, something like
Yeah.
that. Which he was legal age to buy.
Right.
All right.
Mhm. And I think the gun was obtained legally too.
It was.
Yeah, like it was legally registered, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, firearms
Firearms
are
not
registered in
registered.
state Texas.
State
Mm.
Texas.
What happens is you have to fill
What
out
happens is you have to fill
ATF form.
out that
Right.
ATF form.
Right.
They put it in the
They
system.
put it in the system.
Oh, okay, yeah, you don't have
Okay,
anything.
yeah, you don't have
Good to go.
anything.
Right.
Good to go.
The kid, as far as I know,
as far as I know, didn't have a job.
Whomever his
His relatives were that he was living with.
You know,
Uvalde
Uvalde is
is not exactly the metroplex where there's a lot of high-paying jobs out there.
No.
At $3,000, when you're making 10, 15
bucks an
an hour,
hour.
That's a lot of money.
Damn money.
Especially he's 18. He probably has a car, I would want to assume.
From what I understand,
How did he get to this?
he took somebody's car.
Oh, okay.
But where the fuck did you get that money from?
Yeah.
Because,
All right, we got to do an investigation series. We're going to follow the money, figure out where the hell this money is, where this guy got it.
Where the hell is money? Where this guy got it?
All right. For a second.
what's up, Glenn?
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, cock.
Hey, guy.
Hey, guy.
Yeah,
I
what's
see
up,
it
cock?
over
It's
there.
the cock. How's the retirement there, bro?
How's the retirement there, bro?
All you're doing is fishing. All you're doing is
Well,
fishing.
shit, yeah.
Shit, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Where's your fishing at?
Where's he fishing at?
Down around Freeport.
Okay.
Okay.
Down, I
I
thought
think he's around Freeport.
that or Port Aransas down that area.
Fort A?
Fort A?
Yeah. Down there. So,
Just
just wanted to let you know that.
Oh, right, right.
So
Cool.
I see it. I'm on the Facebook, and
I'm on the Facebook.
yeah, I'm on Facebook, and I just can't see myself.
I'm on the interwebs.
It's okay.
So anyway, go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I just
Yeah, but that is something I think that some investigative reporter needs to do that. Or
Well, the problem is, and I actually had this conversation.
Well, the problem
today.
is, and I actually had this
and this is
conversation
what-
today. And this is
I'm
what
trying to separate us.
what
from
I'm trying to
everybody
separate
else
us
as far as,
from
like, the
everybody
news
else as far as like the news
So,
organizations.
all these news
So,
organizations,
all
they
these
get
news
what's called
organizations,
feed,
they get
and
what's
it's
called feed, and it's called basically a news
all
feed,
get
and
served
they all
the
get
same
served
feed.
the same feed.
And that's why if you
And that's
go
why if you go
through each
through each city
and you watch the
and you watch the
broadcast,
broadcast, it's literally word for word
Yeah,
the same. They don't even change it up.
Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Yes.
Joe Rogan had that on his thing where he showed
All
all these different
these
cities
Yep.
and they all said the same thing.
And so,
And even when I was one of the I think the second talk show that I was on was Russ Martin show. Even they had the their feed, their news feed and stuff that they would talk about different things and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want the news feed. I don't want to talk about what everybody else is talking about because everybody's tired of hearing it because it's literally on every fucking channel, and they're talking about the same damn thing over and over again.
So yeah, that was
kind of my thing. I was like, I don't want like the news feeds. Like I want to go out and actually do journalism and go find a fucking story and like just like the Crumley thing. I was like, I knew that was going to be a developing story. I knew it was going to be something that was going to set a precedent for moving forward about what's going to happen with parents and are they going to be held responsible for what their kids do. And I'm like,
oh
my god, now you got to be a parent. Holy shit. You can't just throw a screen in front of your kid and go, bye. My job's done here.
When I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
when I was actually like a junior high,
Uh-huh.
it was not uncommon, even in the state of Maryland.
Right. Is that where you're from?
Yeah.
Okay.
During the deer season, the high school guys, going back in the back of the truck.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
shotgun
shotgun in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before Maryland went completely over the edge.
Right.
And we didn't have school shootings back yet.
And it's
This is
crazy.
a modern phenomenon. So what?
And it's crazy.
So you got to ask the question.
So what?
And it's so crazy.
So you got to ask the
What
question.
changed?
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you what it is.
I can tell you what it is.
Social media.
Social media.
And
I'll tell you how and why.
Jonesboro, Arkansas
shooting back in
early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Uh-huh.
And I agree with
I
Joe
agree with Joe
Rogan.
Rogan is
So I agree too. Social media, but
Mhm.
we're medicating these kids.
Mhm.
All right.
We're
We're
not
not solving
the
the problem. It's a mental health problem.
No.
And
And the thing is, it's exacerbated by social media because all you're seeing is the highlight reels of everybody, and then you feel like a failure, and you feel even more depressed because you don't match their standards. You're seeing everybody's highlight film of, man, this guy's got a Ferrari, this guy lives in a mansion, he travels all the time, blah, 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 got all these fly women around him, and so that's what their perception is, and they're like, man, I'm never going to do that.
I'm never gonna do that. And like, I'm just gonna quit before I even start.
And like, I'm just gonna quit before I even start because they're like, I can't achieve that. And
You know,
it's
I've always been really.
I've always been
So I had to
really
be.
independent.
Same here. Only child, so I have to.
Same here.
Yeah.
Only child, so I have to.
And I'm
And I have nobody else to rely
I'm
on.
adult, the only
And,
son.
Okay.
so I've always
And,
been really
So I've
independent.
always been really independent minded.
And
And
what Iraq did to
what Iraq
me,
did to
it made
me
me
is
really
it made me really
anti-authoritarian.
All
anti-authoritarian.
right, you want to talk?
All right, you want to talk about that?
You want to
Wanna go down that rabbit hole?
Yeah, let's go.
All
All right, let's do it. I like it because as I've gotten older, I've I hate people more and more, and I want to stay away from them more
Hey,
and more.
Jerry, I know before you say anything, just wait till you get our age.
Oh, I can't even imagine. I barely leave the house anymore, dude. I'm just like, why don't want to go out there? It's safe in here.
Too many people.
I know.
Actually, I'm sure that Jay probably doesn't want to leave his house, and I don't.
I don't. I don't.
You got a bunch of idiots out there.
Well, you know what's
You got
weird
a
is like
bunch of
when I was
idiots
younger,
out
like
there.
Well, you know what's weird is like when I was younger, like
30s,
let's say
I was
in the
never
20s
home.
and
And my
30s,
parents
like
why do
I
you
was
even have a
never
house?
home, and my parents like, why do you even have a house? Like you're never home. You're
Like, why?
never in your house.
And then all of a
Like,
sudden,
and then all of a sudden,
30s, 40s hit.
30s, 40s hit.
Fuck
And then I'm
moving.
like,
I
fuck
got
leaving.
everything I
I got everything I want and need right here.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
especially after Iraq, I
Especially
do
after
not like
I
to be
do
around
not
groups
like
of
to be
people.
around groups.
Right.
Right.
Ray does
Ray
all
does
the
all
grocery
the
shopping and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But if I do go to the grocery store or I gotta go buy something,
Mhm.
I either go really, really early when first open, there's not a whole lot of people there.
Right.
Because I just don't want to be around it.
Yeah.
And because I just don't want to listen to it.
What is it? Just the noise or just
Well,
the
I just don't want to be around people
yeah.
in groups.
Right.
That's the nice thing about the job that I do, is
Mhm.
I work by myself.
Right.
And I love it.
Yeah. Same.
The only
same
interaction
here.
I have is when I open the door of the airplane.
The airplane flight kind of stand there.
That's it.
That's it.
Right.
Right.
You know.
And
And
as far as not leaving the house, yeah, it's
yeah,
very,
it's very.
we don't go out. You
You
know,
know.
It was
Yeah.
nice. Just to deal with the. It was nice just to deal with the flight team.
yeah. It just it's like when I'm at work.
Yeah.
The only time I go back to our warehouse is if I need something or it's lunchtime and I gotta heat my food up.
Right.
Other than that, I set my truck. I got my radio.
And I think that's kind of one of the things that I like love about.
Said, I know how you feel.
Yeah, he can get out on his boat.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Devin, but I
Go
mean,
ahead.
ACOG. I mean, if we had ACOG and him in here at the same time, and Jay, yeah, they probably had a totally different. I mean, they probably feel the same, but totally different stories. So,
Right.
It'd
be interesting to hear.
Well,
Yeah.
Laycock,
You
you got some time. Write us some synopsis in there.
It's
Come on,
the military background. Honestly, it's such a different perspective than what you guys have.
Right.
And
And how so? Like
how
what?
so is I had to tell a couple
these punks at work.
Uh-huh.
and they're like, well, why don't you talk very much? And I go, because I don't have anything in common with you other than we work for the same company.
Right.
I said, I did more by the time I was 20 years old than you're probably ever going to do in your life. It's like, oh, you're such an asshole. I am an asshole.
They used to tell me the same thing, Jerry.
Because I did more. You know, I graduated flight school 5 days before my 19th birthday.
I traveled most of the world by the time I was 18, so I'm right there with you. It's like I've done more before I was 18 than most people their entire life.
We just don't have anything in common. Now, there's a couple guys at work that serve in the military. We talk,
Mm.
About this, that, and the other. But we
Right.
have a common bond. Both of us raised our right hand. Oath of allegiance.
Oath of allegiance.
But the rest of these people, I look at some,
and some
older than I am.
older than I am.
Mhm.
Well, I got my motorcycle, this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Am I supposed to be impressed here?
impressed?
I know, right?
I know, right? Material things don't impress me.
You know?
You know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was Sam Kinison said talking about landing on the moon. Because you want to impress me, go get her fucking flag, bring it back.
That would be pretty good. I miss old Sam Kinison. God, that's a name that I haven't heard in a while, man. His shit was fire.
Hey, speaking of the Middle East, he goes, you want to solve this problem? Stop sending them food.
Send them fucking U-Haul.
Okay, you know, honestly, when you told me that they were reliant on the UN, my first thought in my head was, so we've enabled them.
Yeah.
We become enablers by and allowing this to continue. And I'm a huge advocate of like not enabling fucking failure.
It's like all the problems in San Francisco. They're enabling.
Yes.
Now,
They're
when
enabling it.
Xi
Yes.
Jinping
Now, when
came to San
Xi
Francisco,
Jinping
they had all that shit cleaned up.
They had all that shit cleaned up.
As soon as he left,
Mhm.
right
As soon
back.
as he left.
So you
Went
can't
right
tell me
back.
you can't
So
do
you
it.
can't tell me you can't do it.
And that's the thing. Can't.
And that's the thing, can't never could. And that's what I
just
the
don't
word
want.
fucking can't when somebody tells me that does not fucking exist in my damn vocabulary.
Because that
Means you don't want to. Because it can be done.
You just don't
want to do it. This motherfucker. So I have somebody that I work with, and she comes in and she's like,
well,
this is easiest. And I'm like, fucking makes like my skin will boil when I hear it. But this way's easier. And I'm like, I was like, first of all, get that out of your vocabulary. Because what's easiest is not always what's best, and what's best is not always what's easiest. So the fact that you're going to take the easy route tells me that you've fucking done no research.
Well, people have heard about that.
Well,
And I can't stand the man either.
and I can't stand the man.
Bill Gates said,
Is,
"You want to get
Bill
something
Gates said, "You want to
done
get something
creatively,
done
give
creatively.
it to the laziest
Give
person."
it to
you
the
have."
laziest
Yes.
person you have."
I actually dated a girl.
I actually dated a girl, and she goes,
You're just lazy.
"You're just lazy." And I go,
Why? Because I'm figuring out
"Why?
better
Because
ways
I'm
of doing
figuring out
things,
better
faster
ways of doing things,
stuff. And I
faster
go,
ways
no,
of
I'm
doing
more
stuff." And
efficient.
I go, "No, I'm more
And
efficient."
she goes, no, that's
And
laziness.
she goes, "No, that's
And I'm
laziness."
like,
And I'm
no,
like,
because
no,
then I
because
can
then I can allocate my time to do other shit that I'm actually interested in.
Yeah.
Get this
Get
shit
this shit out the way.
We had a guy. We had to do a
presentation.
and
And
all
all
of them working on it, writing up the notes and shit.
Mhm.
This guy, he
he
was a
was a
genius.
genius.
Like, I'm not gonna mention his name. I do remember.
Yeah, you can. Pastor Mark.
No.
The antithesis of fucking genius.
So what
What
he
he
did
did
is
is
he made some presentation about airfield firefighting.
firefighting.
So he went down and got the fire chief, had him come give a talk. And some of the guys were like, "You
And
motherfucker."
some of the guys were like, "You motherfucker."
We've all worked on this shit. And
We've all worked on this shit.
And the
And the attack officers
top marks for that.
top marks for that.
Nice.
Nice.
Patrick, you okay over there?
Patrick, you okay over there?
Yeah, I'm all
You're awful quiet.
You're awful
Well, I'm
quiet.
letting them talk. I'm letting them talk. I'm letting them talk.
Other than Patrick Mark, the genius.
Yeah. Everybody asking me what's up with the video, what's up with the sound, and all that. So,
Yeah.
and I'm just explaining. So
So throw a question at me there, Sparkus.
let's see.
Have you ever encountered or heard
There you go.
of any unexplained aerial phenomenon or UFO sightings during your military service that left you puzzled?
No.
Damn. See, even me, when I was, God, I can't remember the age. We went to Jamaica, and
We went there like
three different times, and every time we went there,
we met
this guy who
was
apparently, I guess, military or something. Worked at Carswell, and then worked at a couple of different other air bases. But anyway, he got drunk enough one night, and he started talking about the recovery of Roswell and stuff like that. And so it was kind of like, it had always fascinated me, because even at a younger age, my parents had a party one night. We had a pool and all that sort of stuff. And I remember somebody was, we had like this picnic table type thing. Somebody was standing on the picnic table and pointing up at the sky. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, first of all, why the hell is he standing on the fucking picnic table? And I was like, then I looked up at what he was pointing at, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
Now, I have seen something that was truly unique,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
Predator drones are not that big.
Predator drones were not that big.
And we
Okay.
were standing out.
And we
Matter
were
of fact, I was standing out at the base hospital there at Bellevue. And we're just looking up.
And we're just looking
They got the Marines are
the Marines are bringing
their medevac in, their dust off.
Their dust off.
And they always had the Cobra.
as an escort.
They were coming up from the Monty and all that shit. That's when all the bad shit was happening.
Right.
Right.
Well, I'm looking up and I just happen to see a streak, smoke trail. And it goes, I don't know how many miles.
Mm-hmm.
What it was is that Predator drone, which I couldn't see nor hear,
Mm-hmm.
shot a Hellfire missile at somebody
Oh wow.
a couple miles away. If I
If I
hadn't
hadn't
looked up,
Mm-hmm.
never even known it happened. You just see the streak.
Yeah.
Smoke trail.
Yeah.
You know, it's like candy gram for October.
Yeah, ACOG thinks that UFOs are things that the Air Force is testing.
So there's extra dimensional craft, and then there's the ones that we have recovered and we've reverse engineered. So there's a difference between ones that are extra dimensional than the ones that the government has and reverse engineered.
Yeah, no, there was
Balthazar.
there was I can't remember the Navy F-18 pilot was on Rogan.
Yes.
And he was
It's
talking
funny we're referencing Rogan a lot because actually I'm almost familiar with every single podcast he's ever done. He was actually my inspiration, ironically, to build this out. So I wanted a podcast studio better than Rogan. And then he went and changed it like 3 fucking times. I'm like,
And then the internet goes down.
yeah, and then the internet goes down. Joe Rogan's like, I'm gonna sabotage this internet, motherfucker.
199 times.
So this F-18 pilot was talking about it, and he was talking about
Fraser, was it Lieutenant Fraser?
I can't remember the fellow's name.
Okay.
But he was talking about the readings off the instruments in the aircraft.
Yeah, that's what's fast. The lock on, right? Like,
Yeah.
He was able to lock on.
And, you know, they showed some footage with some of the telemetry blurred out right inside of it.
Yeah.
Is it possible for that stuff to exist? I believe it does.
Mm.
But then again, the technology, just remember the SR-71
Mhm.
and the U-2 design was fucking slidable. You showed a kid a slidable today, they had no idea what it was. And I even looked on Amazon, and you can't even find one on Amazon.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So go back on the SR-71. So I was always fascinated with jets and airplanes and stuff as a little kid. In fact, SR-71 was like I have a die-cast model of that, and then all the other jets, F-14, F-16, Fighting Falcon, like all these different jets and stuff like that. But yeah, the SR-71 was always just like fascinating to me, like to be able to go that fast and the materials that were used. And
Well,
all that sort of stuff.
the CIA set up a front company because guess where all the titanium came from?
Where?
So
China. Oh shit, did it really?
Yeah, they set up a bunch of front companies to get titanium
Right.
from the commies to build the plane and spy on the commies.
So let me ask you this. Modern day scenario of that, with everything going on with China and them not being able to get NVIDIA AI chips and stuff like that, do you think that they're going to be setting up shell companies and the same thing and doing the exact same
They're
thing?
already doing it. If you look at a lot of their vehicle designs, aircraft designs,
Yeah.
they mirror out.
All right, everybody, just so y'all know, go look up BYD U9, BYD U8, and tell me that those aren't sexier than any fucking car on the road right here.
What are you talking about cars for? We're out there, we're talking about like
We're talking about
China.
because it's China. To his point, replicating
Okay.
our vehicles but making them better.
Okay.
Now, my son sent me a link. It said apparently Xi Jinping ordered a bunch of people shot because they were inspecting some of their intercontinental ballistic missile sites out in western China.
Mhm.
And the fuel tanks on the missiles were filled with water.
Wow. Well, like military, there's been a lot of like.
Let me see if I can find it. He sent it to me on Telegram.
That's funny.
Yeah, there was another. What is the name of that book? Let me find the name of the book first, because this guy was on Rogan as well.
Uh-huh.
And another recommendation. Let's see, filter this bad boy here. Let's go the last 3 months. I would recommend this dude too, because he does strategic research, and a lot of what he has to do is he deals with his demographics and how like Europe is aging, Japan is really in a bad way, so is he, because there's not replacing the
Well, that's what's going on with the air traffic control in your line of work right now. Air traffic control is because they're all literally like
They're retiring out.
And there's no fresh blood.
There's
The thing
no
is with
fresh
me, I'm
blood.
like,
But thing is, with
if
me,
AI
I'm like,
couldn't replace a job, that would be
if
one.
AI couldn't replace a job,
still needs
that would be
human
one.
oversight, obviously.
But
Yeah, the name
still
of the
need
book
human
is
oversight,
The End of the World is
Yeah,
Just
the name of the
Beginning.
book is
By
The
Peter
End of the World is Just Beginning. It's by Peter
Zihon,
Zihon.
and he has a Rogan podcast too. And he does a lot of strategic things. He even states that China was a one-child policy back in the 70s or 80s.
Right.
How they're
right,
They're
almost
Fuck
getting
them.
up, they're almost over the cliff.
They're almost over the cliff in terms
replacement
of
population.
replacement population.
And also,
And
he even
also,
said this on
he
the
even said this
podcast.
on the podcast.
They lied about their
They lied
population
about
to
the
the tune of
population
about
to the
150
tune of
million
about
people. They have
150
150
million
million
people.
people, less of what they say.
Less of what they say they do.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
had
Massive
consequences.
yeah. No, I mean, I've been following. So like
one
one of the companies that I work with or whatever, we
did
did do a lot of business in China. So like I have to follow the economy in China and stuff like that to kind of understand what's going on with the business and this, that, and the other. So since everything's been going on with the China and COVID and the lockdowns and their economy like literally collapsing because basically 80-90% of their economy is real estate. And so when all these buildings are built to house people and they're not being filled, they literally demoed like 30 fucking buildings.
I just watched a thing today about that.
Yeah, it's insane. So like literally, Patrick, could you imagine all of your income coming from your house? That's it.
Yeah.
Like nobody here buys a house is like, oh yeah, I'm buying this so that way,
I can make money off
I can make
unless
money
you're
off of
a
it.
house flipper.
Unless you're
Yeah,
a house flipper
But
or
like
whatever.
basically in China,
But like basically in China, like 90% of their income, and that's is
literally from the housing market.
literally coming from
What
the
it
housing
is
market.
too
What it is too is
they
they
are march to
are marched to
urbanization.
urbanization.
So
So
you have all these people moving to cities.
cities.
Mhm.
Gotta have
It's
make work.
It's make work.
It's
Yeah.
make work.
It's make work.
They go out and they build all this
shit,
shit, keep
keep
people
people
employed.
employed.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
To make the
To make the numbers look good, once again, it goes back to the
and then
same.
they go back and blow the shit up.
So,
So the ironic thing,
they're
they're doing the exact same thing with electric cars, EVs.
So
they're
now
now the leader in EV sales and shit like that. And literally, they did drone flyovers of like thousands of EVs just sitting in a fucking field. And I'm like going, what happens when one of those catches on fire? All of them are gonna catch on fire.
I just read an article the other day where Ford has like 92,000 F-150 Lightnings that it can't sell.
I'm telling you, like right now, what's gonna happen? We're gonna have a huge car fucking collapse, automotive collapse, and I think I hate to say this, but Toyota was actually right.
I was about to bring it up because I read that.
Fucking,
too.
he got fired for it too, but he stood his fucking ground. They need to rehire his ass.
I read something about that just the other day.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
Hybrid is the way to go until you can perfect that.
Yep.
It,
You gotta walk. You gotta crawl before you walk. You gotta walk before you run. And they just said, "Fuck it, we're running."
It's like, one of my
No, not Toyota. Everybody.
No, not Toyota.
instructors in flight school go, he goes, you never drive by or fly first model, nothing.
Exactly.
You know, we're a long ways off
Yep.
from having Will Smith's Audi robot. A long ways off. You know,
I don't remember his Audi, but I remember iRobot.
I remember the Audi where
Audi,
he was going through the tunnel and the robots come out of the trucks and started trying to damage his vehicle. You know,
Yeah.
self-driving.
Yeah.
They had in the news this afternoon, some dude has a new Apple thing.
Yeah.
He's in a Tesla. He's got it on.
Yep.
And he's just going.
He's got it on.
He's just going like this.
He's just
With
going.
fucking goggles on.
He's just going
and
like
his car's
this,
drive
with
itself.
fucking goggles on, and this car's.
That technology.
Man, you should
That
have
technology-
told Devin that. He's gonna fucking
Well,
start
the
doing that.
technology.
Actually, I will give you my whole synopsis on the Apple Vision Pro fucking
I'll give that
bullshit.
after.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give that after this.
Listen to Jack.
It's
Yeah.
you know,
It's
It's a good segue there.
self.
It's a good segue there.
Oh, you heard me talk shit about
Oh, you heard me talk shit about you. You hear it? It's like, I gotta chime in now.
Self-driving technology
Self-driving technology.
probably won't be mature for at least another 10 or 15 years.
So here's what I said.
So
about
here's what I said about 10,
So
15 years
when I
ago.
was
So
12,
when I was 12,
I
I
car
drew a car
that had
that had
solar
panels all the way around. It used where the scoops are for like on a Ferrari or Lamborghini to like cool the brakes or to cool the intercooler and all that sort of stuff. I used that for induction for a generation for
energy for electricity. And then I had the regen brakes, which wasn't even a fucking thing at the time. But I was like, why can't I put a generator on there and slow down that power? So I literally had like 4 sources of energy. And so when they say like the perpetual like motion, like that's true, but it's not true. It's true if you're relying on one source. If you're relying on 3 or 4, then you have the opportunity to create more energy than you are, or produce more energy than you're like using. And that's the thing, and that's and even to this day, it still doesn't exist. This thing I drew when I was 12. I'm 42 now. I'm 42 now. 30 fucking years later, this motherfucker does not exist.
The pace of change. I was born in 1968. The population of this planet was only about 3.5 billion. 55 years later, it's over 8.
Yeah.
That is not sustainable.
For one.
But
Why do you think it's not?
Because
As Peter Zehan pointed out
in his book,
in
people just aren't having kids.
So it's not sustainable as far
So
as
it's not sustainable as far as what growth or what do you?
Now there's
Okay,
some parts of
population.
I thought you were meaning not sustainable.
I thought you were meaning not sustainable as far as like we can't feed them, we can't house them.
No,
That's why I asked on that because I thought that's where you're going with it. I'm like, but we can't.
I'm glad you.
I'm glad you clarified.
The United States and Canada and parts of Russia and Ukraine produce enough grain to feed the entire planet.
Yeah.
But what's happening is, in his book is mostly demographic stuff, is that people just don't have kids anymore. And like I said, like I mentioned earlier, Italy and Japan especially, they're going to experience some severe population crashes in the next 30 years.
As well, United States.
Well, see, the thing of it
People
is,
like me, I'm 42, no kids. So like,
yeah, but as far as the United States as a whole,
yeah,
you know,
you got all them trailer parks to fill.
well, in that you've got
17 kids counting.
17 counting.
That's true too.
and that
That's true
issue.
too.
Do we want to talk about that one?
You know, I don't
Do you want to talk about that one?
I was like,
that's perfect segue. Shit.
So yeah, going back to
going back to the Apple
Pro
fucking bullshit vision, blah blah blah.
I looked at
it. I'm obviously I like Apple. I like what they've done. I think they're very stagnant in the last 10, 15 years. I think their shit is boring as hell.
Yeah, after
but
Steve Jobs
yeah,
gone.
I think they've stifled innovation.
I think they tried to push something that honestly is half baked. So I have something right now that I've had for 3 years. It's better than the Apple Vision Pro. And it costs $400 and you can buy it today or tomorrow, whatever day you decide to buy it. It's called In-Real Air 2, and I can literally plug it into my phone or my laptop, and I have 3 huge monitors. And I'm not wearing this big, gigantic, bulky ass thing. It's literally sunglasses. And then I put the black filter on the front, and I can't see anything in front of me. Or I can take that off, and then I have AR.
And then
I remember when Google Glass came out.
Yes.
Guys are walking.
Yes.
I saw a couple dudes up in the airport.
But these look like regular sunglasses.
But these
like
regular glasses. You would never know that I was wearing them. And in fact, I wore them on a flight from Dallas to Germany.
Actually, no, France.
France. And all of the flight attendants and shit were like,
I want to see this.
I want to see this.
So when you put them on, if you're watching a movie, like say I plug it in my phone, it's a 330 inch
OLED,
and it's OLED. It's
fucking phenomenal. Fucking
so
phenomenal.
So as long as you got good,
headphones in, you're literally better than watching it at the theater.
And then the cool thing with my Mac is I can have 3 gigantic 42-inch monitors on an airplane while I'm sitting in the front of a seat. And I'm literally I edited an entire video on a fucking flight using those glasses.
I just saw, speaking of outrageous technology, it was a 4K video taken inside the Sphere in Vegas. And they were out. I guess it was after the Savannah. Fucking line comes up, starts looking at the camera. Like, holy shit.
The actual.
They were
360.
inside, not the outside portion of it. And then Maverick Helicopters, a big tour operator out there in Vegas. They go to the Grand Canyon, fly down the strip and everything. And they're flying, and you hear the guy talking. He goes, "Yeah, they're flying." What's that? That's a sphere. Well, it's like a yellow emoji. It turns into eyes are like. People are like, "Holy shit! Look at that." Yeah, it's apparently it doesn't hold a whole lot of people inside. You know,
you can only imagine how much tickets costed that.
Well, they spent what, like $2.5 billion to build that damn thing.
Yeah. And they even said that we're never gonna get our money back.
No.
Maybe we can get it back at the casino. I don't know.
It's like these airlines that put internet on the airplane.
Yeah.
You get the free portion of it,
But like if you want to use email or messaging, you got to pay like $8 a leg or something like that, or $8 for a whole day. That you can move from airplane to airplane if you're changing it. They're never going to get their money back. And a lot of these, what they're doing now, they're switching over to Starlink.
Yeah.
Because the throughput speeds and the fact of the coverage, unlike Inmarsat, which does have their own constellation.
Yeah.
Skylink's friggin' everywhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous the amount of freaking satellites you put up.
Yeah, and you basically have an antenna about the size of this right here.
So let me ask you this. This is going to cause you to think outside the box. And you're a smart guy. I can sense that. So this would be pretty easy for you.
Shut up, Patrick.
So what do you think of Elon and his companies? And Starlink, you mentioned, Tesla, his other companies, the Boring Company, the Twitter, X. What do you think about those in the correlation?
Well, I did read an article. The reason he switched the name from Twitter to X, and because he even went back and bought that domain.
Yeah.
Initially, when him and whoever his partner was created PayPal,
he wanted it to be X.
He wanted it to be X,
Yep.
and he wanted it to be everything all inclusive.
Yeah.
The rockets side of it, and I will say this: I tried to watch him on Rogan. I couldn't stand to listen to him talk after about 5 minutes.
Thank you. And that is my hardest thing with him. I'm like, I try to watch him, but just like his articulation and like it's very hard to watch and listen to.
It is. After about sound bites here and there, okay, that's fine.
So what is your take? Like, what do you experience? Because like I know I do, but I'm like from hearing it from somebody else, I'm like, yes, please elaborate on that.
I don't know.
I'm trying to understand why I can't stand this shit.
Is he on the spectrum or something?
He is. So he does have Asperger's. So and I've actually hired people that had that because Patrick actually knows. Because if you can get them to focus, they become laser focused. And when you can get them to like stop swirling left and right, which I know this is hard on this podcast, they can actually like just produce results that you're just like, wow, it's like what I call like an idiot savant. So like they may not be skilled at all things, but they're once they get into their niche, they like just blow it out of the water. Like they just blow the competition out.
You were speaking about correlation, and this is my take on it.
Yeah.
He is a futurist.
And that's why
he has a vision, and he has the money to pull a lot of it off.
So let me ask you this: what do you think that vision is?
Well, he said it himself. He wants to get off the planet.
Okay. That is part of it, but how do you think the companies are going to allow that to happen?
Well, look what Boring Company did out in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the only?
I mean, I know the answer. I want to see
your. What is the only vehicles that are allowed in that tunnel?
Teslas. Yeah.
Okay. What's his rocket company for? It's going to space.
Teslas.
Travel space. Yeah.
It's going to space.
Yeah.
So you tie them together. He just wants to get off the planet and have all the technologies, the back end technology, so when they do get there, they can, make it work.
Yeah.
That's the way I think about it.
So I think you're right. You're hitting the nail on the head. I think that there's a two fundamental business flaws in his current setup. One, I understand what he's trying to do with X. It's not about the profit to him. From a business standpoint, it's the worst fucking deal of the century, like ever. But I understand he's trying to use the algorithms and understand the algorithms for other purposes,
because
network.
They just had the first patient with Neuralink.
Yes. So Neuralink, that's another one that. So all these companies tie together to me, because if you're going to try to compete with AI as a human, like there's no fucking way unless you become them or they become you. So you take a AI and you make it biological. You make it, you mix the two so that
it's the fucking Borg. It's the fucking Borg. Which one of you dudes are going to be Locutus?
But I think
Andy can be stupidus.
I think his other second challenge is he should have never, ever, 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 ever built the robots under Tesla. Ever. He should have started a secondary company and created the AI robots, because that is going to be the most important thing out of all of his things that he's got going on. Because if you want to go inhabit Mars or whatever, you need to have somebody or a being that is non-biological that can go out there and build your infrastructure and get the water, do all the resources, do everything you need
before you get there.
And this is where I'm like, on NASA and all these other fucking brilliant mind people, I'm like, have y'all not figured this shit out? Like, you're relying on humans. First mistake. Second, you can't do a lot of things because of humans' structure can't handle the G-force, can't handle this. Take that out of the fucking equation.
Well, look what Boston Dynamics have done.
Yes, dude,
that's insane.
Yes, and
that's some Skynet shit right there. There's no fucking way about it.
It is, but like all things, a gun can use to hunt and feed you, or can you obviously, depending on the tool and what it's used for. At the end of the day, it's still a tool, whether it be a gun, a knife, or AI. And this is the thing: it's useless if you don't know what to do with it. If you don't know what to do with a gun, it's useless. If you don't know what to do with a knife, it's useless. If you're gonna fucking try to draw with a knife, you probably might be able to carve some shit. But I mean, if you don't know what to do, it's only a tool. The tool does nothing by itself unless it has somebody that knows how to manage and use and utilize the tool. I don't know if you heard this, Patrick, but UPS laid off 12,000 fucking people.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear about the latest?
No.
UPS 12,
It's not package handlers.
No.
White collar. AI is replacing white collar, dude. I was like going, whoa! Mic drop.
American just laid off a bunch of non-union customer service people.
Yeah, I saw that.
What was it, 1,200, something like that, Patrick?
Yeah, something like that. Southwest is next, by the way.
The UPS has cut their forecast. FedEx has cut their forecast. FedEx has cut their pilot hiring. As a matter of fact, they did a deal with one of the feeder airlines. I think one of the ones that service Delta, offering their pilots to switch from being a FedEx pilot to going over to the commercial side.
Right. Yep. I've heard a couple of airlines are doing that.
Delta has formed their own flight academy. American's doing it. United's doing it. Southwest is partnering partnering with somebody to do it.
Of course, they got a third party for it.
Yeah, it's a third party, and
Of course.
they're all third party for all the airlines. The only one that's really truly in house is United. You know, American goes through. I think it's a college up in Oklahoma, somewhere up there. So that's a trend. To see, even today, I was reading today. They've been floating this idea about. I think it was about maybe 15 years ago. The mandatory retirement age for a commercial pilot was 60 years old, and a lot of the guys that had hired on with American and Southwest and Delta in the 70s, they hit retirement age. Well, a couple years later, because more healthy now, people don't smoke, except for somebody. They went ahead and raised the mandatory retirement age for pilots to 65. Well, here about 2 years ago, like they were exploring the option of making it 67. So the FAA came out today going, no.
Yeah.
Congress was looking, hey, we're going to make it 67. No, how to handle pilot shortage. And the FAA is like, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So one of the other designs I came up with, since I know you like airplanes, helicopters, and all that sort of stuff. So like the F-14, right? How the swept wing that goes to a Delta configuration.
Yeah, that F-111 did it. MiG-23 did it.
So what I want to do is have basically a commercial airline, maybe Southwest if you want, where the wing actually sits on top, kind of like a Cessna. You know how the Cessna has the solid piece that goes on top. But as you're flying, it actually rotates.
NASA did that.
And it actually, but it actually goes into the fuselage. So it actually, so imagine, how a rocket looks, right?
Yeah.
So you still have your tail fins and everything like a rocket. You still have your, or like an airplane. And then you have the wing. The one you're thinking of it didn't completely.
No, it turned. I'm going to find a picture of it.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's actually what sparked my idea. I go, why does it not tuck into the fuselage and become seamless? And then it becomes an actual rocket. So instead of being limited by lift and all that sort of stuff, and you could literally hit 5, 10, 15,000 miles an hour, because, look at the space shuttle with booster rockets and everything else. Essentially, it's the same thing, but you're sending commercially, like you're sending. Yep, that's it. But it turns, I think.
That's about as far as it would go.
Yeah. So the one that I want actually tucks into the actual craft.
So what's your lifting? What's your lift? Where are you gonna get your lift from if it does that? By the way, that's a NASA 81.
So the lift, it will only sweep into that design until once it hits a certain speed. So then you're no longer using lift to keep it sustained. So yeah, so even with that plane, like it barely rotates, like it doesn't rotate. There's another plane that actually is more aggressive that actually comes, I think, to a 60-degree angle. I'm trying to remember. But this one actually tucks all the way in and goes in, and then basically the airplane becomes a rocket. So think of like the Concorde, but without the Delta wing. It's literally. And then it's just a tube, basically, with a nose cone that's shooting through the earth like a fucking interballistic missile, but it's an airplane, like it's a commercial airplane. And then obviously once it slows down, once it gets to where it needs to go, then that wing comes out and then rotates, and then you have your lift and stability and all that sort of stuff. And I tried listening to shit, so I tried to build this in Chat GPT and AI, and AI said, this is government, this is too close to government, blah, 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 blah. Like, it literally kept shutting me down. I was like, fuck you, AI. I was like, this is for commercial purposes. I go, this is commercial flight. And they go, but this could also be used for military implications, blah, blah, blah. It literally kept shutting me down. I was like, where's our freedom?
With existing technology today, and I have not seen the movie because I can't stand Tom Cruise, but I have seen clips on it because it pops up in commercials.
You got Top Gun?
The second one.
The newest, yeah.
And I'll explain why I hate Top Gun here in a minute.
Okay. Now this is going to be interesting.
Oh, you!
I can't wait.
I told you I was from Annapolis. Bear that in mind.
Uh-huh.
That Dark Star aircraft.
Yeah.
There was no forward windshield. It was a video display.
Right.
So, ultimate streamline an aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, it's just going to be video displays inside. You get the wraparound.
There's no need to have.
They already have a lot of that technology that they use in F-35 because of the helmet. From what I understand,
Integrated with the HUD, right?
Yeah, you can all the cameras and everything on the airplane. If you look down, you can see what looks like you're seeing through the forward plane.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I can see that happening. But and I have a
see. My thing is like I can go into any industry and I can literally do it better, no matter what. Even industries, I don't have any fucking aerospace industry. But I guarantee if I fucking build this shit, it's going to fly better, faster than anything we got right now.
Speaking of airplanes, we'll get back to Top Gun in here
Okay.
in a second. We were talking today, and, all the problems that Boeing's having.
Oh, man,
And I told him flat out, I said, here's why Boeing is having a problem. When
McDonnell Douglas and Boeing that fucking merger.
When Boeing bought McDonnell Douglas,
Yep.
the bean counters from McDonnell Douglas took over the management. And what's one of the first things he did? Phil Condit moved the headquarters from Seattle to fucking Chicago.
Oh, God.
So they got away. Boeing has drifted away quite rapidly from an engineering-centric company to the bean counters from McDonnell Douglas. And there's parables for that in the airline industry, too.
Anytime you base your
Can I share
entire...
it?
No.
Anytime you base your company on numbers and numbers alone, like you're just destined to fail. What you need?
I'm just going to write some down real quick.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I think I have some dry erase shit somewhere. I need to keep those up here. I got a million of them downstairs. But no, that was one of the things that I have like that's kind of crazy. Even when I worked for USAA, I'd never worked in insurance, never worked for USAA, obviously. They gave me this project. It was called eligibility. So with USAA, you've got to be a member in order to be a...
Yeah, no, I've had it for 37 years.
There you go. So I came in not knowing anything about USAA and but my job was the eligibility. So like, let's say you are going in for the first time to be a USAA member. So my job was to get you in and get you like completely whatever you need, whether it be insurance, mortgage, whatever, as fast as possible. So I'm like going, well, I worked for a law firm way back in the day, and I had access to what's called LexisNexis. I go, why can't I just auto-populate instead of them having to fill out all this bullshit fucking information? Why don't I auto-populate it? And they're like, we just paid the company $15 million to fucking tell us that. I'm like,
yeah, when I in August of '87,
You could have.
I was like, you can give me 10 of it. We're good.
in August of '87,
Yeah.
right after I graduated flight school,
Uh-huh.
back then USAA only insured warrant officers and officers.
Oh, wow.
And they learned rather quickly in the 90s when they changed it to all military members.
Right.
Because the lady didn't believe me. She goes, "You're 19 years old?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a warrant officer 1. I graduated flight school on 12th of August." And she did. I said, "Listen, I can mail you a copy of my DD-214 and orders."
Yeah.
You know, because '87 didn't have the computer power we have today.
Right.
obviously.
At the database.
So,
and stuff,
yeah. So I just that's an aside. But let me tell you why I hate Top Gun.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Let's go back. We scrolled. We'll come back around.
All right.
Good job.
So
Besides Tom Cruise, obviously.
yeah, I can't stand it. So
Fucking Scientology.
I grew up. I was born and raised in Southern Maryland,
Uh-huh.
and I came home on leave when that movie was out. And what's in Annapolis? The fucking Naval Academy.
Is the CIA there too?
No, that's over in Langley, Virginia.
Oh, Langley, that's right. Yeah.
So I go to see this movie,
Uh-huh.
and it's full of fucking midshipmen. And they're making such a ruckus. I halfway expected all of them to get off and start fucking running them out. And I got so disgusted that I fucking got up and walked out. And I've never seen all of that movie. and I'm not going to watch the second one, which is why I fucking hate Top Gun. Now, that being said, my first duty station was at Tipton Army Airfield at Fort Meade, Maryland, and we would fly the midshipmen around all the time. We actually fly down because it's only a 10-minute flight from Tipton down to the Naval Academy, and we'd land on their soccer field, and I made sure we landed on their soccer field and left the big fucking tire divots in that bitch. So we would take it's basically flying around, check out the aircraft and
Right. What were you flying again that you landed?
Chinooks.
The Chinook. Okay.
Yeah,
Just so the audience.
That's
yeah.
That's 6 tires, and they're big tires.
Thank you for elaborating, just so you're painting the picture,
and
so
you
the
got
audience understands.
You got a 32,000-pound airplane when it's empty.
Right.
You can leave a divot on the soccer field.
Oh yeah.
So, our goal, and crew chief or flight engineer and crew chief would get out and brief them. Mm-hmm. He said, "Listen, do not throw up in the airplane."
Yeah.
And we'd hand out sick bags.
Right.
And see, one of the things that we didn't tell them is when you lower the ramp down and bring the tongue in, if you look out the back, that's all the heat distortion from the engines.
Right.
And plus the stabilization, when in the B and C models, it was called SAS, Stabilization Augmentation System. Mm-hmm. On the D model, it was the Advanced Flight Control System. And what it did is it kept the aircraft really stable. Mm-hmm. But the back end would tend to move around like this. So if they were looking at the back, it didn't take long. When one of them got sick, it was like dominoes. As a matter of fact, we were flying some Civil Air Patrol kids around, and I never will forget this. We're over Hagerstown, Maryland. And
that's where my cousin lives.
Hagerstown?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. So what we would do,
small world.
we'd bring the ramp up, bring the tongue in, so you could see out the back. We had a strap across the forward entry door. And we're just flying around, 120 knots. We're straight and level. They get up, look out the door, and come up in the cockpit, look out the front. Well, we're out flying just a little west of the airport. That's in the Appalachian Mountains. Mm-hmm. Well, there's this truck towing a RV trailer, and it caught on fire. And it's setting the woods on fire in the summertime on both sides of the fucking road.
Oh, shit.
So we made them sit down. I'm talking Hagerstown Tower. And I said, hey, this Army, whatever tail number was, and we're just doing 360s over this. I said, hey, we don't know the name of this road, but you need to call the fire department because it's setting all the woods on fire. Right. And we're orbiting. Well, if you sit in the right seat of Chinook, right here, right up here is a mirror where I can see all the way to the back of the airplane. Right. And this Civil Air Patrol kid, he looked like Kermit the Frog, dude. He had some fucking Coke bottles and shit on.
I'm like, Patrick?
And
No.
I just
Bubbles? What?
I just see him like this. It's like so I made a point that all of us pretty much made a point trying to get the Naval Academy kids sick.
All sick. I love how y'all.
As a matter of fact, they had a.
So you're which branch?
I was Army.
Army. Yeah. I love how all of y'all
well
hate on each other.
Two more stories. One about a Navy F-4 pilot and one about the Naval Academy. We picked up a bunch of Naval Academy kids that were going to do parachute,
right? Static
line parachute. And if ACOC's still on there, ask them about doing static line.
Hey, God,
about out of the back of 47. So we're flying. We're about 1,500 feet off the ground, and they throw the streamer out to get a wind direction. So make a nice gentle left-hand turn so they could watch the streamer go down.
Right.
So their jump master, some third-year academy guy, he goes, "Yeah, I think it's right here." And the guy I'm flying with, he's the pilot command of the aircraft. I'm sitting on the controls. I'm just driving. He goes, "I don't think that's where you want to make your jump point." No, it's good. It's good. They put the whole stick in the goddamn trees. All of them.
Oh my gosh.
And you can just hear,
Wait, were these Navy guys? Or
they're Navy.
Okay, so yeah, you did that shit on purpose.
No, Naval Academy midshipman. He made the call.
Oh, so on his own guys.
Yeah, and
oh shit.
And the guy I was flying with, his name was Dave. Dave's like, "I don't think you want to do that." No. Okay, green light. Pink.
So was that the pride of the naval officer not wanting to say that the Army guy was right?
Lack of experience.
Lack of
Probably that
experience,
too,
okay,
but they had
okay.
a couple of Marines with them,
Oh, really?
including a full bird colonel.
Oh, shit.
The colonel was the only one that landed in LZ, and he was not happy.
So explain to the audience, like, what is a flag? Like, what is it supposed to do?
All right,
And what did it do in this instance?
when you throw the streamer out,
Right.
it just unravels. It's like a big roll of crepe paper, maybe about 4 inches wide.
Mm-hmm.
And at return, you can watch it and watch it drift.
Right.
So where he picked to make the jump point,
Mhm.
that's when Dave said, "Hey, yeah, no, that ain't gonna work. No, it's gonna work. It's gonna work." So okay, so continue.
So what was the flag doing that tells you otherwise that this guy that was
because
inexperienced?
the way the wind was blowing it,
Mhm.
where he had picked,
Uh-huh.
it was going to put the whole stick in the trees.
Okay.
So we should have been farther over to this side.
Right, so that the wind would take you into.
And instead of putting everybody in the goddamn
I was
trees.
trying to explain for
Yeah.
that. I knew where you're going, but like I'll get paint a picture for the audience.
So, I'm just sitting there going, "Oh my Lord." So now we got to land and we got to shut down
Uh-huh.
and wait for them to go get people to get these kids out of the goddamn trees. So, but during Desert Shield,
Quit being tree huggers, fuckers, get out.
and by the way, this was at Quantico, Virginia,
Oh shit.
where the FBI has their training.
Yeah.
There's a Marine Corps Air Station there.
Wow.
So we landed.
I wish my buddy that's a Marine is listening tonight. Fuck. Where's he at? Where are you at, Crane Eater?
So during Desert Shield, we were flying a bunch of Marines around and doing a mock air assault.
Mhm.
And this Navy F4 pilot, "Hey, can I ride with you guys?" "Yeah, sure, man. Send a jump seat. We don't give a shit."
Mhm.
Well, they use a different plug for their helmet than we do, so it won't fit into our intercom system. So
okay.
he cannot hear what we're saying.
What do y'all have? Like XLR? Like what kind of
It's all right. Airplane.
proprietary or something?
Airplane. If you fly airplane headsets have 2 plugs.
Uh-huh.
Ours is just a single one.
Okay.
So we're up there. We're about 2,000 feet,
Uh-huh.
and he's not expecting this. So I slow up to about 50 knots,
Oh wow.
and
And
Dave.
it doesn't stall? Oh, you're in
No,
a helicopter,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's not, yeah.
So Dave looks at me and goes, "Sound the dive alarm." And the flight engineer in the back, he goes, "Ooh God, ooh God!" I just push it right over. Whoop. This guy reaches up and grabs the soundproofing on both sides and almost tears the soundproofing off of it because the companionway is about that wide,
Uh-huh.
and there's a seat that goes across it. And
Uh-huh.
he was sitting there and he strapped in, but he couldn't hear what we were doing.
Yeah.
Because I make a nice, I just real gentle from 120 knots to 100 to 50.
Yeah.
So we're kind of level, and then I just nose it over, and we're 30-degree down bubble, as they say in the submarine service, right?
Shit.
There you
What was
go.
your altitude on that?
We went from 2,000 to about 100 feet, real quick.
So what was your angle
About
pitch?
30 degrees.
Damn.
You're limited. The Army limits the aircraft to 30 degrees high, 30 degrees nose low, 60 degrees of bank. That's per the Army. Their videos with Chinook, doing about an 80-degree nosedive.
Yeah. I mean, it's badass.
Dude, you take a tractor trailer, because that's the size of a Chinook fuselage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He just reached up and grabbed both, almost fucking ripped all the soundproofing. God, he kept paying away. Oh,
Man,
Lordy.
Sounds like you got some awesome stories. So did you ever finish the whole thing why you didn't like the Top Gun thing?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, because the fucking Naval Academy midshipmen in the fucking theater trying to jerk each other off because I'm going to be Iceman and I want to be this and blah blah blah. Go fuck yourself. Yeah,
What you talking about, Maverick?
I'm 19 years old. I'm 19 years old. These guys are like, most of them my age are maybe 21 at the most.
Right.
They're still in school.
Yeah.
I'm already flying.
Yeah.
Even after they graduated, they still had
You still have your pilot's license and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
How often does that have to be renewed or whatever?
Once you get your pilot's license, as long as you don't do something to get it taken away from you,
Right.
it's forever.
Oh, wow.
Now,
Uh-huh.
that being said,
Uh-huh.
if I was still wanting to fly, I'd have to get a medical, and I'd have to
physical or anything like that?
They get a medical
Okay, so
and basically take a annual check ride. But I haven't flown anything since 2012.
oh wow.
And then a mental checkup.
From the neck up. As a matter of fact, funny story. I was working a flight one day, and this brand new first officer, and I'm in the front of the airplane. It's just him, me, and the flight attendant. And I had my Army hat on. Had my wings on. Oh, you pilot? Yeah, dude. I flew helicopters in the Army. And he's like, show you exactly what I did. So I reach in my wallet. He's standing there, flight attendant. He's here. Flight attendant's right here. I go, yeah, let's see. Oh, that's a military ID. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's commercial pilot with type rating and instrument rating. The type ratings for CH-47s. Oh, that's an aircraft dispatcher's ticket. That means I took the same fucking written test that you did. He did not say a word.
Mind if I look at this?
He did not say a word. He just kind of shrunk into the cockpit and got in the right seat and look at me. Look, hey, guys, look at me. The flight attendant looks at him. She looks at me and she's like, go fuck yourself, you arrogant little prick.
Oh, that's awesome.
This guy was like 26 years old.
Bro, I've dealt with that, and it's funny to hear your story because it's like I've dealt with that in a lot of the industries that I've worked in, and I'm just like, there's a difference between being ambitious and being driven and being
a fucking prick.
Thank you. And it's ironic because actually two of the guys were here at bonfire and stuff like that. And one of the guys is just sitting there telling me like how to manage and how to do this, that, and the other, and I'm just going,
Who was that?
Wilson. You remember Wilson? I don't know if you ever met Wilson.
No.
Yeah. He ended up having a meeting with the back of a fucking transport van and is now basically a vegetable.
God damn.
Wow.
So he went, and I was like, and I'm biting my tongue. I'm like, you know what? Because he was like 300 something pounds, right, when I met him. And like, he was cool, humble, and everything else. Then he started taking racquetball, lost all his weight, and then he got fucking cocky. And he got like holier than thou, like I know everything about everything, and I'm just like, dude. And so he starts telling me like all this shit, and I'm just like going, how many restaurants do you open? Like thinking in my back of my head, and I'm just like, I'm gonna humor him and make him think he's fucking right, and I'm just like, and he's trying to tell me how to do stuff, and I'm just like, and then he fucking a few months later hits the back of a, and I'm like, karma's a bitch.
Last month, it's been 38 years since I started in aviation.
Oh wow.
And I look at, we had a supervisor. Oh, I think you got too close to the airplane. I go, see these? I know more than you. And she just stood there and looked at me.
Yeah.
I said, I've been doing this for 38 years. I do know what I'm doing.
Right.
And we were talking earlier about anti-authoritarian attitude about that. Number one, I don't like to be told what to do.
Amen.
You'll be okay with being asked to do something.
That's different. Yeah, of course.
It is. It's more
I gotta
respectful.
break my seal.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll
I'll
wait
talk
till you get
amongst each other.
It's more respectful if you're asked to do something than being told to do something.
By someone who hasn't ever done the fucking job.
That's true.
That's what irritates
too.
the absolute shit out of me.
Well, yeah. So what else? What else do you have?
Well, I was going to tell you, probably get about another 20 minutes, and I'm going to have to jet because I do have to work
Oh,
tomorrow.
you do?
Yeah.
I thought you were off.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Well, once he gets back.
And well, I'll tell him about the whole anti-authoritarian bent, and Iraq has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
This is all going to be recorded. You guys are going to clean it up and everything.
Yeah.
When you do, send me a link to it.
We'll do that. He'll probably do it.
See what the hell's going on with my security system at home.
Oh, so
talk to me, Sprouticus.
there's so much I want to bring up, but I read the note. And
Yeah, I don't want to talk about work.
yeah, I know. So I just, maybe we should have you and ACOC in here. Try to get Glenn ACOC up here from fucking
South Texas boys.
Port Aransas. And what else? Andrew Bloom was on earlier.
The bloomer.
Yep, the bloomer.
The bloomer.
The late bloomer. Yeah. So have you heard anything from? Never mind. I'll ask you after.
Hey, this your deal here is down to about 23% power.
Yeah, we got.
Damn.
And it's 9:15, and he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to jet here, but we're talking about the anti-authoritarianism.
Yeah. Right here on side. It's a 90-degree.
I don't like to be told what to do by somebody who's never done the fucking job.
Exactly.
And the thing how things have changed at my job is they've hired a bunch of people, put them in management positions and supervisor positions, never done the fucking job. And to me, it's an issue of credibility. It's like I told my enlisted guys when I was in Iraq, I said, listen, I don't know how to turn wrenches on airplanes. You guys don't know how to
I don't know how to turn wrenches on airplanes.
All
You
I'm
guys don't know how to
asking
fly.
you is do your job.
All I'm
to the best of your
asking
abilities,
you
and I'm gonna do
is
mine.
do your job to the best of your ability, and I'll do mine.
And
And
after all,
that's all you can
stupid
ask
shit
for.
I saw
All
over there,
stupid shit I saw over there,
I don't trust.
I don't
these
trust
idiots in
these
authority.
idiots in authority.
And that
And that'd
be
be
this
this
country,
country,
corporate
corporate
America.
America.
You know, they can all go fuck off.
So let me ask you this. That's a good opportunity. What do you think is the solution?
About 100-foot wide asteroid.
But that's going to create some other Hitler that's going to come in there.
Yeah, and honestly, this is my personal opinion.
Uh-huh.
I think we're too far gone. The ballot box doesn't work anymore.
I agree because the ballot has been bought, and it's the thing. It's the society. Like they're just puppets. Like at the end of the day, when one company, BlackRock,
can own
can
90% of the companies.
90% of the companies.
They're all dead together.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like
And that's the thing. It's like
cutting on
you're
monopolies,
cutting on monopolies, this, that, and the other, but you're allowing BlackRock to buy every
All you gotta
goddamn
do-
company.
All you gotta do is go back to
Ike's last speech.
Last speech.
Before he
Mhm.
left office.
Before he
Yep.
left office.
Fucking brilliant speech.
You know,
Talk about military
Talk about military complex that we talked about. Yep.
And then all this started.
See how you manage?
All this
really started
Mhm.
after
after
World War
II.
II.
I'd
I'd
say
say
probably
probably ramped up
Industrial complex.
during the Korean War.
Mhm.
And now we're here. We're here. The only true free people left in this country, in my opinion, are those people who choose to be homeless and live off the grid. I'm not talking about the crazies under the press.
And it's funny you say that because that's actually what I'm looking to do. Is actually I'm slowly migrating towards getting off the grid.
Yeah,
Completely.
it's no, I'm not talking about the crazies under the pass.
No, I
You know, and
get you.
You know,
let me explain how I feel about that.
How I feel about that.
That's
Uh-huh.
also a self-created problem.
That's also a self-created problem.
I watched, and it's been years
I
ago.
watched
There's a documentary on PBS.
Documentary on
And
PBS.
these two ladies,
Mhm.
God
And
bless,
these two ladies, God bless,
they were trying to
they were trying to
basically. I
basically.
guess it was the
I guess it was the
ACLU
ACLU had sued
the state of New
the
York,
state of
saying
New York saying you
keep
can't
these people
keep these people
institutional.
institutional.
Mhm.
You know,
They
had
had
civil
civil
rights.
rights.
Right.
Well,
Well, you
keeping
keep
them
them
institutionalized
institutionalized because they can't take care of themselves.
Right.
Now, one of the
Guys that they tried to help,
Uh-huh.
he was a schizophrenic.
Right.
No medication. He's on the street.
Yeah.
They're giving him sandwiches. He broke his glasses.
Uh-huh.
And they took him to a free clinic and he got a new pair of glasses. And he's telling him, hey, make sure the ATF doesn't put anything in their monitor.
Right.
Well,
he
starts to have episodes. They take him to
the
hospital.
whatever.
Look, there's nothing.
Right.
There's nothing we can do.
And a couple weeks
And
later,
a couple weeks
you know,
later,
he jumped into the fucking river.
river and drowned.
Right.
That
That
is
is
why
why
you know
these
it's
unintended
consequences.
consequences.
You think you're doing
good,
when
Mhm.
in
actuality you're not.
you're not.
What do you think?
What do you think that is?
It's a
It's a
misguided
misguided
sense
sense
of
of purpose.
I'm going to do good, and these people don't have any right to do that to you. Well, have you considered the alternative?
Right.
Yes, he's institutionalized.
Mm-hmm.
They're safe.
Mm-hmm.
They get their meds.
Mm-hmm.
They're fed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe take them on field trips. The fact matters, these people unfortunately cannot take care of themselves.
Right.
And so what you've seen in this country since, I say, the late 70s, early 80s,
Mhm.
is they just don't have the mental institutions that we used to have.
So I'm gonna address this. I'm gonna elaborate.
I'm gonna elaborate on this because this is a great
So I have to come back
opportunity.
with Jay, and I
So
have to come back with
Oh
Jay.
no,
and
I'm
he-
gonna.
hold on, no, I'm gonna.
Jay the third time. Make sure that
Jay the
third
time. Make sure that
Yeah.
we have a
Dude.
secure remote.
Dude,
I will come to you now.
I'll come to you.
bring
No,
the
like I'll
studio
bring
to
the
you.
studio to you.
No, this shit like really.
This shit like really
irritates me.
irritates me. 'Cause I'm like,
any-
you don't
I
have
feel
any. Like I feel like I could talk to you all fucking day. Like I feel like this should be like an 8-hour fucking podcast. So one of the things I was fortunate enough to see is one of my buddies. He his parents had 50 acres in Flower Mound. And where his parents had this house, the average acre was 1.5 million per acre.
Oh, shit.
So he's sitting on
literally like $100 million
like
fucking dollars.
100 million
This is
fucking
like
dollars.
Point Noble.
This is like Point Noble. People that are familiar with Lake Flower Mound, they'll know. Like once I say that, they'll be like, "Oh my god!"
Anyway,
yeah,
so long story short.
Long story short,
they
ran a orphanage or whatever. Not, I don't even know what the
correct
technical term
But it
is.
was very
whatever.
fascinating.
But it was very fascinating. They walked me through.
So
The people that were just like
down and
out, like
society
threw the fucking book at them. Nobody was going to be able to help them.
They
had this one room, right? And it was just like bare necessity. It was literally like a bed, some walls. That's pretty much it. Then he walked me to this next room, and then it had nicer furnishings, had better, softer bed. It had a couple games and stuff in there. And then we walked to the next room, and then it had like a TV, and it had like fucking what is it called? Comforter, quilted comforter, and like all this lavish stuff. And then like went to the next room, and it was bigger, and it was better, had its own bathroom, and all this other stuff. And I was like, and he explained to me, he goes, as we take in the kids, they start out here, and then they work their way, and they progress. And I'm like going, that's how society is. The more you work, the harder and the more you contribute, the higher ranks and the better off you are. Some people just need...
It's positive reinforcement.
It's positive reinforcement, but it's like, you see, it's FOMO too, fear of missing out. You see, like, oh my God, like, they get their laundry done for her. Like, when I was here, I have to do my own laundry. I have to do the cooking. I have to do all this stuff. So my responsibilities have increased. But if I keep doing it and I achieve, then I get this. And then, like, and it was really fascinating, and I liked the system because it wasn't a, like, oh, yeah, just put them all in fucking jail. You know what I mean? It was like, no, you incentivize. And that even like in business world, I took that into the business world going, I don't believe in just giving people money, you know, like for doing a job. I believe like, I'm going to give you money, yeah, to do the job, but like, if you do above and beyond, then I'm going to give you money on top of that to incentivize you to keep doing that. And then also your peers and people around you seeing that happen and seeing that you're getting paid more because you're doing that, that influences them to work harder. But the thing is, in sports, this is the biggest thing with me, like with sports, like you do a half-ass job, you shouldn't get your fucking paycheck.
Yeah,
Cowboys. Yeah, I'm like,
Well, let me tell you this.
and
I'm gonna have to get here in a couple.
Yeah.
In the morning, but let's do this
let's
again.
do this again.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Set up,
I
I know you guys only do it on Tuesdays, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we can do it any other time.
Because I'm off Wednesday, Thursdays till the end of the month.
Okay.
Okay, so I have off Wednesdays too.
And I should know on the 10th what my schedule for March is going to be.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe we can do third time's a charm type of deal.
I know. I'm getting to be like, man, is this guy like? It's like somebody trying to keep us.
Am I jinxing it?
I'm feeling like
It's Japer.
like someone's like, no, you motherfuckers can't meet. Y'all can't talk. No. I'm like, dude, we've never had fucking problems up until today.
I've had a good time, and it's just this whole discussion, going back to what we were talking about earlier, about I want to grab.
Yeah.
This is great for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is great for me. I love it.
And
I'm glad you feel comfortable.
Bounce the questions off me.
I like it too.
I like it too because like there's a lot of frustration.
Everybody's
like just.
I mean,
like we talked about school shooting and all this other stuff. It's like everybody's just frustrated. Everybody's just irritated. Like we're upset that all this shit is going on around us and we can't do a goddamn thing. No matter who we vote for, it doesn't fucking matter. It's all out of our control. And like we're just to the point where it's like, that's why we want to fucking go to Mars.
I don't even.
Yeah, go with Elon.
I don't even vote anymore.
Like it literally, it's fucking pointless. Like it's all predetermined. It's all just.
Oh,
puppets.
I'm voting. I want to be heard.
I'm gonna vote for Romney.
I want to be heard, damn it. Heard.
I told Patrick, I have never had a problem speaking to a large group of people in person.
You're doing better than me, bro.
You're doing better than me, bro.
I used to give safety briefings to the whole company. That's 260 people.
Yeah.
When I was a safety officer.
I don't know what it is. Like I can talk on this all day long, camera, nothing bothers me.
As soon as
I get on stage, I'm like, Micro Machine Man. I'm like talking 100 miles an hour. Hey, sold.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, one other thing. I mean, and you know this. You might know this. I don't know. But because I mean, we've talked before.
Can you talk in any more circles?
I like talking in circles. I've always talked in circles.
Circles are better than squares.
That's true. No, but I've gotten it. I've been on stage talking to people before, and all that. Of course, it all started, with in front of 400 people. In front of 400 people, when I give the eulogy. That's hard. That's hard.
I will say, like, I don't know how.
That's hard.
How anybody can do that? Like, I know I can't.
Yeah, I tried at my grandma's, and like everybody, like as soon as everybody around me started losing it, I was like, all right, I'm done. Like, I can't. I got no composure.
Yeah, when we had service for my mom, my nephew got up to speak, and he's standing there with my sister and her husband, and his sisters, and he couldn't get two words out. So, but anyway,
I cried my eyes out. That's all I did, and then I took something that would numb me, a strong Xanax, and I got through it.
I will say though, I will give Andy props. Like he is probably the best. Like I was like literally. I don't know how you do it, bro. Like he writes and speaks amazing.
Oh yeah. He did good. He did good
with the eulogy. Yeah, you didn't see his dad. When his dad passed away, like I knew that one was pretty hard, but I know the mother was probably even harder. But like, yeah, dude, both of them. Yeah, both of his speeches, I was just like, dude. You need to be fucking doing this for a living.
People's funerals.
All right, boys, it's time.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Thank you both.
All right, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we will catch you next Tuesday. Hopefully, the internet will be restored by then. 200. Yeah, yo. All right, everybody. Love you long time. Later.
When you get cleaned up, send me a link. I want to watch it.
All right.
That Ray can watch it too.
All right. You still smoke those big ass cigars?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
18.25 gigs. Okay.
Wow. It's because I like big, brown, tasty things.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. Didn't want to mention Southwest.
Yeah, I know, man. That's
This fucking day.
No,
and
you
age.
pulled a greet, Patrick.
What?
Patrick does that shit all the time.
yeah,
He talks about him without talking about him.
yeah.
No, and that's one of the things that I love about, and this is kind of like Howard Stern going back to, he lost his magic when he talked about things, but indirectly. But you knew as an audience listening that what he was talking about, but he never called them out directly.
Yeah.
And he lost that magic when he had the ability to actually physically call them out.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't as impactful.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh shit, he's saying some shit about the company that signed his paycheck.
About WN.
Hit Weezer.
What was his name? Pig Vomit.
Pig vomit, yeah.
And they played match game.
Yeah.
Blank Willow.
Pussy?
Blank a doodle doo.